It's a quick video. Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am Becky Vaness, and I am an Access Consciousness Facilitator. And I have the amazing Access Consciousness Facilitator and Joy of Business Facilitator, and so much more. When I say that, it's like, yes, you're a Joy of Business Facilitator, but then I know there's being you, there's so much more. But thank you, Laleh Hancock, for coming on here and chatting with me. And this is our 7th video interview that we've done on the topic of how is your business doing. And if you guys are watching this and you've never seen Joy of Business before, or you're also in the Certified Facilitator group, you guys kind of already have a little bit of this information. But the amazing Simone Milasas, the founder of the Joy of Business, says if you wake up in the morning and have blood running through your veins, you're in business. So welcome, Laleh. And how's your business doing?
Yeah. And thank you for this conversation, because, you know, I've been a Joy Business Facilitator since almost the beginning. Actually, I was even excited about it before there was even a program, because, you know, for me, business has always been something that had me so happy and intrigued. I just always loved growing businesses. And so thank you for having me here today in the conversation. And, you know, this last year has been such a different year. And we've been talking about ways to get your business to, you know, be different, for you to actually find the things that you enjoy and assist your business in growing for a long time. But I think with COVID, with the lockdown, with so many businesses that didn't used to be online, having to be online, and so many that were online and had to also shift the way they used to do the online business, like there has been this whole movement of what does the business of the future require? You know, and so I've had more of that conversation with different people, because what used to work a year and a half ago doesn't even exist anymore. Like that's such an old reference point, and your business continuously needs that forward movement of, hey, what's working? You know, what does the business require? And I'm one of those weird people in business. Like I actually talk to my business every day. That's something I actually recommend to everyone, if we're willing to look at our businesses not as our business, but it has its own consciousness. It has its own way of communicating with you. It has its own way of contributing to its own growth and contributing to the ways that it can give you information about the future. We actually can create our businesses very different than the way they look today.
Well, that's so amazing. And can you say more on that? So like if somebody's watching this and they're like, wow, how do I talk to my business? What are some maybe questions or that you do?
Yeah. So first I want to start with, like, not everyone has their own business. So when we're talking about this, we include everyone, you know, like even if you work for a small company, or if you work for a large enterprise company, or you work for the government, it doesn't matter. There's something that drew you there. Even if it was just because you wanted the money or you wanted the experience, something drew you there. And it usually is actually the consciousness of the business. So if you did start your own business, you had an idea, you had this moment of, oh, that would be fun, or I'd like to solve this problem in the world, or, oh, that product would be fun. Like there was something that intrigued you, that pulled you in. That's actually the voice of the conscious of the business.
Well, that's such a great way to put that. Thanks you. That's so cool. Okay.
Yeah. So it's pulling you, you know, and, you know, for example, if it is actually your business, this consciousness knew to come physically alive, it needed your energy, but not from a need. There was this desire of like, you and your energy are exactly what it desired to come into physical form. And so there's this partnership between you and your business. But at some point, we go into like control freak. And instead of like a partnership, we say, I'm the boss. I take over. Who the heck are you? I don't even know you're alive. And then we become the bullies inside our own businesses. So the first step for me is, would you be willing to actually just for a moment, even tap into that enthusiasm you had, whether you got the job offer, or that enthusiasm when you started the business and went and got it incorporated, or maybe you don't even have it legally incorporated, but it's the business. So from that space, would you be willing to be grateful? Grateful for you having the awareness, the information, but also grateful that this consciousness actually chose you and wanted to come alive with you. And if you can start from gratitude, you can actually allow you to have a very different communion with your business, like a co-creationship, instead of this distance between you and it. And every day, just let go yesterday. I know some of you guys watching, you already know this tool, but if you guys have never watched this before, don't know the tools, like so much baggage from yesterday comes to today. Yeah. And if you're willing, as amazing as yesterday was, it can never be replicated because it doesn't exist. It was yesterday. So if you're willing to be grateful for good, bad, indifferent, the problems with your employees, whatever occurred yesterday, just be grateful for it and then be willing to wash it away. I always say it's almost like the spilled milk, you can't put it back in the carton. So all you can do is wipe it and allow you to pour it again if you want to. So every day, having this new clean slate with your business, this white canvas, will allow you to create different. And before you get out of bed, let go all of the things of yesterday and say, hey, business, all those projections and expectations, everything that occurred, I'm grateful for it, but now I'm going to destroy and uncreate it all. And then what would you like to be today? Who or what would you like to add to you today? Where are the revenue streams that would like to come and be part of the business? That's when you pop into the questions of not having answers, but to be this curious 3-year-old with your business, and just the playfulness of it, and allow you to receive information, because the business will talk. It's just not saying it in the way that you and I are communicating right now, but you'll have an idea. Like, for the craziest reason, you'll search for blah, 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 and you're like, why am I searching for this? And that's one of the channels, one of the ways the energy is coming to you, that's what the business is asking you to do. Or you might walk down the street and bump into someone and talk about your business. Like, all those who or what would you like to add to you today end up showing up in some very unique ways if you allow it.
Wow. And thank you for this, Laleh, because what I love about even what you're speaking to, because I get even this video is timeless. Right now, you did mention COVID, we have COVID, but life is always changing. And if you're able to, take exactly, using these tools that you're talking about, it actually applies to the future and all changes. Business has that ebb and flow, just like the earth has an ebb and flow. There's, all these different changes. And I just love that you even spoke to that. And I just have to throw in here that you were the very first Joy Business class that I took was with Laleh. And just listening to Laleh, I want to say just even the point of view, but the magic you have in ease. Because when you talk about business, you're like, this is easy and this is fun, guys. And you apply that everywhere. and you have a coaching or a consciousness business with Access Conscious, you work in a corporate, you've worked in, I don't know if you still do, but like you're able to apply this everywhere.
I think that's one of the ways we limit the businesses, is that we tell them, okay, I have a conscious business that does this, I have this, or I'm in corporate, or I work with the government. But like, if you're willing to ask, where are places your business would like to share its voice and also pull energy from them to the business? When I first came to Access, I had been on my own, whatever that means. I was a consultant for many years, but I've worked in all sorts of places. I worked in startup companies. I worked in middle-sized companies. I worked for, large organizations. Back then, Dell was huge. I've worked in a lot of different places. And what I found is that, they all have the same problems. It doesn't matter how big or small they are, the way people communicate with each other, or leadership, or whatever, or, how to bring in clients and the revenue and things of that sort. So the conversation might be a little bit of a different conversation, but it's happening universally. The same thing, I do a lot of classes also on ways to grow your Access business, or, ways about sharing the voice of your business with the world. So like, they're all connected. It's just that you'll know your audience. That in the government, like when I had consultants who would go into government projects, there was a different conversation about the same topic, but it was just maybe displayed a little bit differently. Or, if I was working with as a consultant in the corporate world, it was a little bit of a different, but it's all the same. We all have the same problems. We all have the same targets. It's just, they might be called different.
Yeah, I always like to say the verbiage would be different, where I could go and use these tools and techniques, or like the methodology of, different things that I was doing. It always seemed to be the same, but it was different verbiage in different places, like different terminologies. And I don't know if I've ever heard anyone put it that way though, like you have, Laleh.
Yeah. And, one thing for me, when I first, started taking some trainings with Access Consciousness, Joy Business didn't have a facilitator program. At that time, it was just Simone Millis's kind of traveling around the world. And I recall there was just such an ease in working with people who really had the desire to change things in their lives. They were either things in their bodies or things with their lives or whatever was going on. And so there was this moment where I actually was trying to kill my business. Like, I had created another business. And so, my consulting business kept growing, and then the other business kept growing. But I was like, no, I want to spend more time over here where I can have these other conversations with people. And I realized the more I was trying to kill this one, the more it would grow. Like, the more my clients would expand the projects, the more people were on the project. Like, it just kept growing. And I realized, what the heck am I doing? There is no or this or this. It's and they contribute to each other. And what I actually created was Global Wellness for All as a business, because I realized how much my clients, I was coming in because they had 750 employees and 32 programs, and one program in 2 weeks lost 25% of its staff. So they brought me in as a panic mode, But what I realized is I can't solve this with them until I know what's going on, or in the whole organization. And it was that I could apply the tools of Joy of Business, but I could also apply the tools of conscious parents, conscious kids, because sometimes they act like kids, so it was there was all these ways these tools could come and actually contribute, and realizing how much, when there was the CEO having a problem at home, it affected the whole business. And if the staff had a sick kid at home, how much it affected. So there's all these places where we don't realize it is the oneness of us. And if we're willing to add pieces that help all parts, it just makes everything greater.
Oh, that's awesome. Gosh, this has been so amazing. And we're almost done, but last question, can I ask you, so what is your favorite joy of business tool that you can share with us?
Gosh,
You gave us already a lot, but
I know, there's a million of them.
There's a million.
Okay, so one of my favorites is asking your business, what energies does it require? Because there's different kinds of people. Like, it's not just people. You can have one person who has all of these energies, but then you might need to have 3 to have those energies. Okay, so one is a creator, who's more the idea person, you know what I mean? Who comes up with different ideas, who can look at the future, what's required, and they're kind of like the initiator. And then you have the movers. So you have people who can take what that idea is and also look at what's required to bring it from that initial thought or idea to actually bringing it to fruition. So bringing it and executing it and things of that sort, and then putting in the pieces of what's required along the way. Okay. And then you've got the connector. So you have the people who take this and now connected with people of like, tell the whole world about it, or they get it on social media, or they make phone calls. Like, they're the ones who take and connect it to places and people. And then you have a foundationalist who's like someone who can like have all of those energies. And a lot of times when people hire people or even are looking, even on a project, it doesn't even have to be hiring, like, having people who actually have these energies is going to be required. So if you have everyone who's a creator, they're kind of fighting for ideas, but what happens? Where do the ideas go? They never get to that fruition. So you need to have all these pieces, all these energies that is being taken care of. So every day you can ask your business that, and do it from a blanket. Like, what would it take to have 10 new creators, 10 new movers, 10 new connectors actually coming into the business today?
I like that. I love that. I've been asking for 1. What is wrong with me? I can ask for 10 of each.
Well, I was going to say more, but I only said 10 because I didn't want to scare you guys. But there's infinite. But see, this is the thing. Most people go to, how am I going to pay them, instead of, if you're willing to have the open flow of it continuously entering the business will help you to do that. But you have to be willing to not be closed-minded that it has to be one. Otherwise, you limit the growth of the business.
Epic.
Spanking you right now. Not Epic. 1.
Well, you have no idea, like, until you have like these conversations. So I'm so grateful for today. I didn't know that, like, that's exactly what's popping. Well, can I have 1? Well, can I have 100 of each? Yeah. That's my ask for today.
There you go. Thank you for that updated version of your ask.
I am upping my ask. This has been so amazing. Thank you, Laleh.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching. And there's a million tools. That's one thing I love about, the joy of business, is that there's a lot of tools that are cross-referenceable, like you can use them for growing your business and opening other avenues in your life as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see you guys somewhere soon.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.